Hi, everybody. This is the comic book hype, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host. Welcome back to the comic book hut, and hopefully you like this video. You know, uh, this is the refrain of Weirdo Richardo, also known as your boy Zack. Now, this is an unofficial, official, almost report, because only in the backwoods bizarro world where being late is a good thing. Several years late is a good thing. I'm not quite sure what he's getting at. Um, this is why his channel has completely collapsed. He's got what 89,000. I can't believe this. He's got 89,000 subscribers, 89.2 thousand subscribers. And this is a guy that had a big channel, for a very influential channel. Who's he influencing? Who's he fooling at this point? In the real world, you cannot be late for anything. When you are late all the time, that sends a message that you don't give a shit. Okay? If you know what you're doing, then you're never late. Okay? That means you have certain regard for other people's time. We've seen this now, the same sob story, the same nonsense for the last 7 years. That making good comics takes time. Oh, really? Oh, really? Now, I also have a clip. I probably should play this clip of Chuck Dixon why he doesn't work with Richard anymore. And he said he got tired of waiting for his books to be, from being 2-3 years late. And he goes, it's not so much the money aspect, but he wants to see the book go out. I'm not gonna play that clip. I think maybe I'll put it in the description of this video, and you can watch it yourself. I don't know. But for many years, Richard says the same refrain time and time and time again, that the rules for everybody else doesn't apply to him. Okay? That's the problem with this guy. I would mention, Jawbreaker's Lost Souls was supposed to come out, I believe, in August, September 2018. I didn't get my copy until February of 2019. At least 6 months late. The book was drawn, lettered, colored. And here's the thing. I didn't get a copy signed. In these videos, Weirdo Richardo's telling the audience, oh, I sat in a hotel signing 8,000 signed 8,000 copies. Bullshit, I didn't get a signed copy. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And this has gone on for too long. Every rule applies for everybody but himself. And if you go by the rules, you play by the rules, well, you know what? Your stuff is garbage. Now, stories, books, what you like, it's all subjective. The Rippaverse, I've not read one book by Eric July. Okay? I can't tell you one way or the other if it's any good. Okay? Now, but he gets his books out on time. He's been able to maintain and hold his audience. The first book was going to sell like crazy. But he's been holding his audience. It's almost 2 years now. And the sort of saying that he puts out nonsense, garbage, or whatever you want to call it, the audience likes it. Okay? They keep buying his stuff. They get it on time. The books are always done. I would mention that I've never really talked to Eric Joel except for one little interaction on X a few years ago. Maybe about 2 years ago, I think. He's a very professional guy. When I pushed him, he didn't get nasty. He didn't get angry. I asked him certain questions, and he was very pleasant about it on Twitter. No problems. Okay? And his books, like I said, He goes by the rules that everybody else has. What are some of the things that we hear about the comic book industry when books are late? People get really irritated. What was that book many years ago, All Star Batman, that was late for months and months? People complained about it. That's the GD Batman series by Frank Miller. People complained about how that series was always late. People notice things when it's late. Okay, everybody notices when you're at a job and somebody's always late. You notice it. When people are late in the real world, Richie, you get fired. Okay, and he can post these videos all he wants. He can complain about whatever creator he wants and a YouTuber he wants. The bottom line, and I would mention this is my own opinion, his books suck. Richard's books suck. And it's not so much the artwork, it's his writing. His writing's terrible, right? There's a reason why he wasn't in the industry, because his writing is terrible. The first Jawbreakers was terrible. His second one wasn't much better, okay? Well, The God King is what it was called, which is this book right here. This book was terrible in terms of the story, in terms of the writing. And I've been complaining about this guy for many years. I was the first. I have to sort of remind people, I was the first to complain about Richard's books being late. And the fact that he keeps this refrain of making good comics takes time. It is the lazy man's attitude. I thought it was interesting that Chuck Dixon said in his clip I have, is that maybe a lot of times they're doing things they shouldn't be doing, like drugs, like pot and drinking too much. Maybe that's the problem, right? Maybe Guido Ricciardo has some kind of issue that we don't know about that's making him think that being late is a good thing. We know that he's weird. We know if you call him, he ain't picking up the phone, right? I had several people tell me that. You call him, he ain't gonna pick up the phone. You gotta text him or email him. Okay? So everything is upside down in Guido Ricciardo's world. It's bizarro land. Okay? And the fact that he's going after guys like thinking uncritically, that's another story. Why he's going after him, complaining about the books from the industry. Hey, people want to watch that. They want to know what's going on in these books, and get an idea of what to buy, what not to buy. Richard doesn't do that anymore. He had a channel that did that. He doesn't do that anymore. Now he's just complaining. Okay? Now, it's one thing when I was doing this, first of all, I was misguided, as far as I'll talk about it. But secondly, I treat all the creators the same. That's how I kind of looked at it. I treat all the creators the same. And when I see how Richard's always late, it's just infuriating to me. I only bought one book of his. The second book I had it mailed to me. But the first book, I bought that monkey crap, that garbage, Artwork was spectacular. Malin's artwork was great. The colorist work was great. But the story sucked. Okay? The story was terrible. I can't say it enough. And no one will say to Richie, you can't write. You're a terrible writer. Now, for people that are sort of mad that he's late, where have you been? In terms of complaining about his books being late. I was on this in 2018. 2018, complaining about his books being late. And look what happened. He was late with the first Jawbreakers book. He was late with the second one, the third one. He was late with a Sylvester Stallone book. Sylvester Stallone, yes. And he screwed up the crowdfund on it. Okay? He screwed up the crowdfunding on it. Now, I can go and go through this. And I also want to mention this too. He's trying to make it seem, well crowdfunding is different. Now, if you have a consistent, I can understand if you're late with one book. If you're late with your first book, you've never done it before, and you're late, and you're trying to figure out how to do all this. This is 7 years of this crap being late. 7 years of being late with books. That tells you he doesn't give a shit. Okay, he doesn't care. He's got the money that he spent. This guy had so much goodwill from the audience, and then some. He had so much attention when that very first book was shut down, canceled by Antarctic Press, and by Mark Waid. That guy could have done anything. The worst thing he could have done is what he did, and that was late with that first book. Because the anticipation for that book was so strong, folks, that he could have done anything after that. Could he have been late on the second book? Maybe. But that was a golden opportunity to get that book out as quickly as possible. Strike where the iron is hot. And Weirdo Richardo didn't do that. He was 6+ months late on that book. And all he did was drew it in a box. Just threw it in a box. When I got that at the hut, it was bouncing around in that box. Wasn't secured, wasn't bagged, wasn't boarded. Just thrown in a box. That tells you he don't give a shit. And that should have told everybody, and told me certainly, that he didn't care. But again, he had a missed opportunity with that book to get that book out as quickly as possible to where not only the fans were talking about it right away, but also the media. Because the media helped him make more money off of that book from being canceled by Mark Waid in Antarctic. He had a golden opportunity, and he blew it. The guy blew it. Well, let the buyer beware. If you know a creator is going to be late, this is about as far as I'll say this, then you're a fool for believing that the book will be out on time or at a certain date. And when it comes to Weirdo Richardo, it's always going to be late, and the quality's just not there. It just isn't. Well, let me know what you think about this video. And of course, this is the Comic Book Hut. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still kind of skulking around. Pissed off about my Mets, but we're going to be doing a lot of videos here and complaining about a lot of people. He's going to be the number one target. I mean, the number one person I talk about here. There's a lot of creators that getting a little too big for their britches. And we're going to really start talking about them. But particularly Richard C. Meyer. He's had it too easy. I know the YouTuber John De La Rosa does a lot of videos, but I was way ahead of the curve, even with him. We're going to hammer Richard pretty good. Hi, Richie. How you doing? I bring back Bubbly Edna, which we brought her a couple weeks or so ago. We brought her back. Well, thank you for watching this video. And of course, again, the rules apply for everybody. Everybody is treated equally. You're either on time or you're not on time. If you're not on time, better be a damn good reason why you're not on time. Richard doesn't have a good reason. Other than that, his books are good. Yeah, it's bullshit. Crowdfunding is different. Okay, whatever. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.